sentencing guidelines. So right now, you can literally go out, do whatever you want, commit crimes, and you'll be out faster than the officers can finish the report, and that's a fact. We're wondering, how many times does somebody have to be arrested here in LA before they stay in jail? It's sad to say, but it's almost safer to hang out with Alec Baldwin on a movie set than to go shopping in Los Angeles right now. That's how crazy it is. It is so violent. We're telling people don't visit because we don't think we can keep you safe right now. And that's just sad to say. Well, you'd have to start with the governor. Gavin Newsom. He's advocated with ACLU for Proposition 47 as well as George Gascon, who authored that bill. Here's an interesting twist too. The CEO to Netflix gave $3 million to fight the recall campaign on Governor Gavin Newsom, and that's the son-in-law of Jacqueline Avant, who was murdered by somebody who got out of jail who should have been in jail. So first of all, you got to clean up from the top. Gavin Newsom needs to be gone. We need to work on changing these laws back to make it tougher on crime. We need to get rid of these so-called progressive district attorneys. They are advocating for the criminals. It's almost like it's shame on you if you're a victim. It's like it's your fault. That's the way they see it. So there's a lot of cleaning up to do, but we need to take back the streets. And to be honest with you, it shouldn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I think we should all want to feel safe in your home, and we should be tough on crime. And that's where it starts. We have to start from the top and clean house all the way down. Well, AOC, is she living with her head buried in the sand? It's ridiculous. All you have to do is just turn on, any news channel. There's even the more liberal ones are showing some of the stuff. And they're not showing all of it, but they are. It's like, this AOC experiment was nice. Now it's time for her to go back to bartending and doing what she does best, because she's definitely not a lawmaker and she doesn't keep the citizens safe. And there's people like her and the rest of the squad who are just clueless on what's going on in the United States. There's rampant crime everywhere. And in fact, Los Angeles is like the movie Purge, but instead of 24 hours to commit your crime, they have 365 days to go out and commit their crimes. And that's how it is right now in Los Angeles and in San Francisco. Well, they call having bail, making it a criminal offense to be poor, is what they're saying. They call it racist. Do you see people stopping at the grocery store and doing smash and grabs, grabbing milk, meat, cheese, and everything? No. What you're seeing is that they're going and getting Rolex watches, they're smashing jewelry stores, they're going to Louis Vuitton stores, and these so-called celebrities and other politicians that are so far on the left, they don't want to admit they were wrong. And so they keep their head buried in the sand. But here's the interesting thing. But everybody wants to be a liberal until they get robbed or shot. And you see how quick they change their tune. And that's what it's going to come down to. I just want to say, the ACLU, they're the ones, they're the partner in crime for the suspects. And what we did is we created a national database. It's aclu-watch.com. You go there, you click on your state, and you'll see exactly how the ACLU is helping the criminals succeed and how to stay out in the streets and commit crimes.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ha, Rakakwadash, Shema Amah. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharwan, Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Awafim and children that believe in truth and in sincerity. It's your brother Athan Ya'Allah back to another lesson. And Yahweh Ratazah is edifying. And pretty much, what you see here is the police director. He's a police league director out there in LA, pretty much giving you the false illusion, all right, trying to persuade you to do as thou wilt, man. And ultimately it's that confusion, all right, as we're in the land of confusion, Babylon, all right, which means confusion, all right, known as America today. All right, where they're trying to instill order out of chaos, man. You can look at it that way, all right, as an order out of chaos, or you can look at it as the Lord just bringing this devil down, man. But all in all, he made a mention of the mayor of California and how he was backed by the CEO of Netflix and things like that, which politicians. Their job as a politician is to ask for money from all different ways, whoever support them. They do their duty, supposedly. which is that's all confusion as well. All right, which is it's just work of an agent. All right, just like you will have America that'll kill a president of another country, of another nation, and set up a puppet in its stead. It's all about the dictatorship, the demonocracy that America is trying to push. All right, just as well as we're in this season of this Rome reincarnated, man. Where you have Democrats, Republic. All right, the people buying in their vote. All right, onto which side. All right, in which you have a division, man. As the scriptures say, man, a kingdom divided shall not stand. Just roughly paraphrasing. All right, but I want to go into the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse I start at verse 23. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. Right? He desire himself as hell, man. The expectation of the wicked ultimately is wrath, man, because that's where he set his heart at, man. His heart desires is of the fleshly things, man. When the fleshly things are temporal. All right. And it's verse 24. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth. Right. As you freely receive to freely give, man. That's how you get more and more, man. You get an abundance of, because you're not selfish. You're not being a niggard. All right. But the scriptures say, woe to him that increaseth to which is not his, man. And we go get that. All right. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth. Right. Because Israel, ultimately, we've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true Israelites of the Bible, who are the Lord's people, man. And that's why he's going to show this great work upon the earth by putting this heathen, all right, the heathen, all right, and most importantly, the ambassador of the heathen, Esau, Edom, into subjection, man. And he's going to show his might, all right, and lift up his people from the dunghill, man, from the bottom, all right. And this rich man, all right, is going to be in hell, man. As the story of the rich man and Lazarus. All right. As we represent Lazarus. But this Proverbs 11 and 24, there is that scattereth and yet increaseth. Right. We increaseth, man. Being Israel, ultimately it's going to start with the hopefully elect. The Lord's remnant, who's he's going to save from the said perils, man. And ultimately Israel as a whole is going to be saved and brought into the kingdom, man. Through the loins of the elect, where they go rule with an everlasting righteousness, man. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth. So that's a way to put it. And there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but intendeth to poverty, man. And that's Esau, that grape gatherer, who he won't leave not one gleaning grape. All right, but he's still go be in want. All right. Verse 25, the liberal soul shall be made fat. All right, let's get that word liberal. In Proverbs, this Proverbs 11 and 25 in a blue letter. I'm getting the etymology on liberal. H1293.
Strong's H1293. Beracha. Beracha.
Barakah. Blessing, prosperity, a gift, present, treaty of peace. All right, so prosperity, man. Ultimately, so the prosperity, the soul that's in prosperity shall be made fat. Let's get that word fat. H1878.
Strong's H1878. Dashain.
Right, fat. To be fat, grow fat, become prosperous, man. It's gonna be full of its prosperity. And he that watereth shall be watered also himself, right? You can look at that as in him pouring everything onto himself. He's go pour out himself, You go, ultimately you go reap what you sow. Get more to the point. Verse 26, he that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. Right. They always go be looking for the one who selleth it because they know he got and he's willing to give. He might even give you a discount here and there. Don't let it be Jake. Jake will give you a discount. He go he'll cut you some slack. Esau, hey, he's a niggard, man. He won't leave not one gleaning grape, man. He wants to heap onto himself everything. All right. So this verse 26 in Proverbs 11 and 26, he that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, right? Curse him, man. And that's ultimately what the people are doing, man. They go curse him, man, because they seeing that, hey, they seeing the cards that they dealt, man. Even on this lower scale of what we're talking about now in regards to what's going on in LA with the rioting and people going into stores and they're basically labeling it as a real life purge. And ultimately that's what they want throughout throughout all America. All right, because that's what they desire, man, that chaos, so they can instill the order, man. They can come in with their great wrath, man, because they know they have but a short time. Let me get that right quick. This Revelations chapter 12 and verse 12. And this Revelations chapter 12, verse 12, and they know they have a short time because even though you have the Lord exposing them and the people waking up to the cards that they dealt, just in America, and going into stores, looting and taking whatever the hell they want, doing as thou wilt. All right. And you got the broader perspective, man, pertaining to even more of prophecy pertaining to Russia, all right, China, all right, ultimately coming against this place in that same fashion, man, and these other nations, ultimately coming into that mindset and into that same fashion. And that mindset towards America, man. The hell with this place, man. And robbing this damn double blind, all right, as he go down, all right. Noticing that the hammer is broken, man, and that he's weak, all right. So it's Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time, right? He knoweth that he have but a short time, man. So he's trying to entice riots, man. Order out of chaos, man. Allow some of these things. He mentioned this bill, all right, ultimately, and when I looked it up, it was speaking on misdemeanors. That don't mean you can go out there and people just committing murders and getting away with it. But if you listen to the newscast, that's how he's making it seem. All right. But it's more so like if you go into if you basically busting fraudulent checks, doing anything fraudulent, anything involving money, going into a store and committing theft, petty theft, all the way to just going into there and taking anything up to $950, writing a bad check up to $950. It's a bill basically where you can do it's a misdemeanor all the way up to $950, and it'll be counted as a misdemeanor, basically a pat on the hand and not a felony. And that's the news outlet giving the excuse of why people are going into stores doing as thou wilt, or people may be going out there committing murders and stuff like that, because that is the chaos that's going on right now in out west in California, mainly in LA and San Francisco, as the guy has spoken of. People going into high name brand stores, basically robbing them. All right, ultimately for these stores to cash out on insurance policies, right? And they can get written off, man, because this America is going out of business, man. In this 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? We're not ignorant of his devices. His main devices is his media, where he can paint the narrative. He can choose through his propaganda. He can paint the narrative, man. And paint that picture of a lie that he's telling. All right. From there, I want to go to the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 5. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, right, through his philosophies and his way of life, right? That wine, you know. He is a proud man, you know. He's full of pride, you know. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, right? What we was just speaking of in Proverbs, man, you know. And is as death, right? He's as death, man. You know, this devil's as death, man. The soul in him is not upright, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, right? So even the people in America, which they labeled America this melting pot, man, where you have all kindreds and tongues in this city, all right, trying to get a piece of the American pie, the American dream, all right, where there was these heathens from other nations were lied to, man. They was under the impression that America, streets was paved with gold, you know, thinking that they'll come over here and they can live the lavish lifestyle, and some of them very well did, all right, by that crafty council, all right, in that confederacy, and trying to cut us off from being a nation, Psalms 83, all right. But just as well as they see the cards that they have been dealt, man, just like the people of America, all right, just like the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those of the speckled bird who may look like the other nations, but better spirit as such by way of their fathers, all right. These other nations see the card that they're dealt, all right, and they go back to their country, you know. And ultimately, they put upon themselves debt by going through the schooling system and being foreign exchange students and stuff like that over here, all right. And then they got two homelands where they can deal with two type of currencies, get rich, and still see that it's no prosperity in America, man, and still go back to their country, man, you know. Or they still go, they might even go through little things like their country might not even accept them, you know, back because of they too Americanized, things like that, man, because of the wickedness that this place ensues. But back in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against them? Right, it's like a witness against this damn devil, you know. And this is how you know that this is the devil that the Bible speak of, man. This is the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, man. Esau, Edom, the so-called Caucasian race, all right. There's no other nation that's doing this type of wickedness upon the earth, man. He's one of a kind, man. Shall not all these take up a parable? Jake Salakia, Jake has surpassed his deeds. You know, Jake want to be just like him. You know, so Jake deeds has surpassed his deeds. So Salakia, you know, 2/3 of our people follow in his same fashion. But Habakkuk 2 and 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that laddeth himself with thick clay. Right, and you go into that word clay, it goes into the word debt. All right. You know, he increaseth to which is not his, man. He stole his land from the so-called native and Seminole Indian, all right, which is the tribe of Gad and Reuben, all right. He stole his land and ultimately got through deceit, lies, rape, robbery, and murder, all right. And that's how he also gained the riches throughout the four corners of the earth, man. You know, pillaging, rape, robbery, and murder, man, with the sword, his blessing. And this clay, H5617.
Strong's H 5671. Avteet.
Salakia, Apteet, H5671. Weight of pledges, heavy depths. Right. You know, so he laid upon himself debt, you know, weight of pledges, heavy debt, you know. A lot of promissory notes, you know, and that's why he continually printing till he'll print his ass off, man, till the Lord show up and make it rain on him. From there, I want to go to Jeremiah 49 and 9. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Right? You know this. He can't hide himself, man. This is Esau, Edom. Look at his face. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, his neighbors, and he is not, man. Right? He's not full. You know, he still want more, man. All the way to a point where he's trying to create a NWO, man. He's going to his fourth industrial revolution. All right, his global reset to where he wants to implant a Revelations 13:15 through 17 into every human being, man, and have dominion over your flesh and tie that straw man to the buyer and ultimately put you in a more of a slavery than you already is, man. Put that yoke back upon you. All right. But the Lord is exposing this devil, man. And whoever want to free themselves spiritually, all right, if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, all right, and you ultimately you have a faith, man, the grain of a mustard seed, man. Whoever want to free themselves from this bondage spiritually, they're going to be able to do so by hearing this word and following in these commandments, law, statutes, commandments of the Lord, man, in the ways of the teachers and the elders, man. As you shall see your teachers, man, you know, and apply yourself, man, to this work, to this ministry, you know, whether it's you're ordained to teach or you just ordained to believe, man. You're gonna apply yourself, you know. Obadiah 1:5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right? You know? And that's ultimately, the Lord hate Esau, man. He's gonna bring a judgment upon him, all for the sake of Israel, all for the sake of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. So that liberal soul is not gonna be liberal anymore. You know, this is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the true said to be bountiful, man. Right. And this true got a lot of devices. All right. And that's why the Lord got to intervene. All right. To lift that standard up against him. All right. And who's that vile person, man? You know, Esau, Edom. All right. And this Job 30:8, and Yaharatazah, this lesson was edifying. And this Job chapter 30 and verse 8, they were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth, you know. And this is Job basically waking up to the realization that who had him oppressed, you know. Verse 9, and now am I their song? Yeah, I am the byword, you know. And ultimately, this is a good chapter to read, man. Going into how these the basis of men, you know. They're the low nation, man. And Job wouldn't even have Esau, Edom, the so-called Caucasian race, even near his dogs. In verse 1, Job 30:1, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. All right, yeah, Esau is a more violent than the earth, man. You know, so that vile person is gonna no more be liberal, man. The Lord is bringing the prosperity of the wicked to naught, man. You know, the prosperity of Esau, Edom. All right. The physical counterpart of the spiritual demon, Satan, all right? He's bringing it low, all right? And that's why this devil knows he has but a short time, all right? He's trying to instill order out of chaos, all right? With these puppet mayors and, ultimately the police being drawn back, you know? And this is the book of 2nd Ezra, and I'll end off with that. Bear with me. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter. Shut up! It's lucky. Chapter 15. In verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Ultimately, hey, that's what's go usher in, hey, that order out of chaos go usher in, hey, that bring in those civil wars, man. You know, hey, because we already pretty much in a police state, man. You see these damn puppet mayors and hey, the way it's going, you know, we pretty much in a police state, you know. You know, they're just gonna eventually let it be known. They go eventually, hey, this devil go show his horns, you know. Hey, he knows he has but a short time. All right. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princesses. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, they're not going to regard those who are in authority, man. Their kings or princes. All right. You know, those who stand in authority is not going to be in regard in that day, man. They're not going to give a damn who's in authority in that day, man. It's going to be every man for themselves, because authority is going to be at home fending for themselves. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? You know, and that you just go have chaos on the streets of America for them to ultimately usher in the order, you know, from the chaos that they ensued for the order that they want to ensue, which is the new world order, you know, the fourth industrial reset, you know, industrial revolution, you know, the global reset, you know. So Shalom, Mahabatha, and Yahweh Ratazah, this lesson was edifying, and DTA.